Here we go. Learning differently, education, reskilling, and relevance in an immersive technology world. With me, I have an expert panel, and as they come to the stage, I would like us to also I would just encourage someone to share this live stream. Tell them we are live. We are live. GatherVerse Africa Tech for Humanity is live. Okay, okay. As they keep coming in, we are live. Tell someone, tell a friend to tell a friend that we are live. So if you're watching us from GatherVerse.live, shout out to you. If you're watching us from all the social media handles, we really welcome you. So my panelists are here. And before we even get started, don't we want to get to know them, who they are, and what they do? So I'm going to introduce them, and I am going to start from my far end, and that is from Ian. Ian, kindly will bring you to stage. Kindly introduce yourself, and we will pass it all round and conclude the introductions with you, Catherine. So, Ian, take the stage. Kindly unmute. Tell us who you are and why you are here. Ian? Your mic, please. Your mic. All right. Okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you for inviting me here. I'm incredibly honored to be part of this journey. So I've been teaching lots of international students based on 2-on-1 microgroup learning approach. And then I have acquired lots of substantial research. Like for some students, they have their reading comprehension levels have increased significantly, like 4 grade levels within a few months. And then I realized that this model should be utilized for those in need. And then with no prior foundation, anyone can acquire what they need using my AI program.
Uh-huh.
And as you know, Korea is one of the most intense countries in the world in terms of education.
Yes.
So I thought that my model and my know-how could be fully utilized for so many people, and then I could save lots of souls out there. And I would love to save their souls so that they don't have to suffer from what I have gone through so far.
Okay.
All right.
All right, all right, all right. In Swahili, we say karibu. That means welcome. You're welcome, Ian. We look forward to hear from your expressions. And I'm gonna come to you, Orestes. Yeah, if I pronounced it right, if I butchered it, kindly forgive me. But please tell us who you are and why you're here.
Hello, everyone. Welcome at the second GatherVerse meeting I have. Lynn, nice to finally meet you. I would like to welcome all the highly esteemed panelists also. So my name is Spiro Orestis. I'm the CEO and founder of uh, DigiFastverse, which is a startup located in the Netherlands, and we are focusing on digital transformation of a cross variety of sectors from agriculture, healthcare, education, but also art. I've been exploring XR technologies quite a few years. I've been also an artist, a musician, and a painter. So I've been combining creativity and also the knowledge that I've obtained from my studies and my background into
Mm-hmm.
building disruptive technologies that will better mankind.
Yeah, you're welcome. We love you here once again. And I'm coming to you for Izal. Tell us who you are and why you're here. Your mic, please. Kindly mute.
Hi there. My name is Faisal Daniels. I'm the Chief Cultural Advisor for the Ngosop Kwena Indigenous Community in South Africa. And I'm also a political scientist by training. And I was active in public politics for about, I don't know, close to 2 decades, when I found that that was the complete opposite of what I wanted to do. And I'm here. I was supposed to be on the panel yesterday, but I'm here, so I'm unprepared. But I think this is an adventure for this topic. I'm here for two. I think there are two major fundamental things that that plague the planet at the moment.
Yeah.
And the one
Faisal,
is
I'm gonna come to you on that, Faisal. But for now, we really welcome your expressions. I'm gonna come to you. I know you have a lot to share, and we welcome you from every angle that you're gonna bring your expressions. So feel free. And I'm coming to you, Lauren. Tell us who you are and why you're here.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lauren. This is Avery. She's director of marketing. And I am an immersive technologist. Right now, I'm currently working for This Week in XR, previously podcast. It's now called the AI XR podcast. And I just started with Virtual World Society. I also got my master's in VR in London. And yeah, so I'm excited for this panel. I've been on one before your last
Yes.
GatherVerse, so I'm excited to be back.
Yes, we're happy to have you back again. Professor, over to you. Tell us who you are and why you're here.
Okay. Good evening, good morning to everybody. Namaste. I am Professor Subhashi Shokar from India, from Kolkata. Currently, I'm working with NSH Knowledge Campus as a professor in the Department of Computer Applications. I'm having almost 20.
All right. Sometimes these technical challenges happen, and we welcome you. Shall we start, panelists? All right, there we go. Lauren, you're close to me on my left, and I'm gonna start with you. What does the classroom mean in an immersive world, and who gets to design it and access it? And anyone can chime in on that. But Lauren, tell us your thoughts on that.
I think that immersive classrooms are extremely powerful just because it allows teams and people that are eager to learn, and anybody really, any group of people can meet in one space and physically like feel the presence, much rather than Zoom, where like you can be much more disconnected. Usually whenever you're in a headset, you're kind of like locked in. And the outside world is like very disconnected. Like you have to physically remove your headset to see, like to even check your phone. So I think it's the retention rates are a lot higher and better in virtual classrooms and immersive spaces. You can also design things that are not possible in the real world. Like you can break physics and you can make like really cool particle effects and just make stuff that are like really, amazing and not quite possible, or maybe you have more resources to do so in the physical world. And with that being said, I think that pretty much anyone that wants to get their hands on creating digital 3D spaces, it's possible. There's tons of YouTube videos, and a lot of it's just kind of like learn by practice, like just kind of do it. And then whenever you have things that you run into, like ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a great resource. And yeah, as far as people getting inside of it, a lot of the 3D communities are pretty great because you also can access them via browser or just like a laptop by like kind of traditional gaming. So like as simple as like WASD is how you move around. And while I think that it's more productive and more fun to be in immersive worlds, I think it is awesome that you can, even if you don't have a headset, have access to these spaces.
Yes, you mentioned something important about access. And Orestes, I saw you nodded to this. Do you agree with what she says? And for me, a follow-up for you would be, let's talk about access. Who gets to design it? Lauren has mentioned you can do it as accessible as you can, but I want to find out from you, what is the angle? What angle are you coming in from?
Yeah, actually, access is, let's say, a very interesting topic that we have to address, and also the technological acceptance. For example, in the use case of the African continent, I think the technological acceptance is relatively low, and also those are the means that the young students they don't have access. But currently, as we see the developments, and also with other stakeholders being in the that transformative stage, more and more institutions are pushing their agenda forward with that technological access for embodied learning. Um, yeah, actually, more and more institutions that they are high ranked in the in the economical system, they have access to these tools, but others institutions that don't have the economic prosperity, they don't have access to this type of extra tools to foster creativity, innovation, and also more embodied learning, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally believe so. When it comes to economical challenge and even infrastructure itself, I can't really make the claim that immersive education is accessible for everyone. Are we getting there? Yes, by collective effort. But as of now, no. Ian, I'm coming to you on this because you have mentioned your experience with education and where you're from. And I want to really find out, how do educators themselves, like yourself, need to be skilled to lead in this immersive shift? Your mic is muted. Kindly mute. Yeah.
Well, I believe that, as you know, learning from doing things is the bestest way of learning. So I think
Mhm.
we need to give lots of freelancing job opportunities to workers. Like, as you know, due to the rise of AI, so many people have lost their job. Like, so many
Mhm.
instructors in the world have lost their job. I think lots of native speakers in many countries don't know what to do. I think that's why I have come up with this idea, online microgroup learning platform, where
Yeah.
they can teach small numbers of students, which means uh, like so many people, so many workers will be benefit from this kind of model. And the thing is, it's not a difficult job for them to teach and to be reskilled uh, in this kind of AI era. But all they need is some sort of like ideas about AI prompts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have like started hiring lots of freelancing workers, and then I'm
Yeah.
just giving them a simple manual, and then they can teach, they can guide. They don't even know how to speak English. All they
Mm.
need is some sort of like a management skill, and then they can guide lots of students, and and the students can improve their language skill, very significantly in a short period of time. So that's what I'm trying to do. So. Um, it's not a big deal nowadays. So being reskilled is not a big deal. But I
Mm-hmm.
think the most important thing is attracting students. But the thing is, the underprivileged students are not digital friendly. So what I'm trying to do is spreading the traditional flyers to
Yes.
everywhere, to the village, like so that anyone could see, like see the fact that the international school education is available to anybody without any
Yeah.
prior knowledge, and that's what I've come up with. And then
All
I
right.
think my model could be really, really helpful for lots of people in Africa as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Oh, all right. All right.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. I would like to explain this like further later, yeah, if I have time.
Okay, okay. We will come back to you on that. And Ian, you said your challenge is bringing in students, but I want to get a different angle from Dr. Sakar. What is your angle on this? Maybe you can tell us what you see as a professor. How do educators themselves reskill in this immersive shift? All right, all right. Doctor, can you hear us? Are we together? All right, as he gets his mic ready, Faisal, what is your angle to this? Do you think educators, it's time for educators to start reskilling themselves, and how do they go about that? Faisal, over to you. All right, as we wait for his mic, Lauren, do you have something to add of that? Lauren, do you have something to add on
Yeah,
that?
sorry, could you just repeat what you're asking?
Yeah, so we're talking about educators reskilling themselves. How do there's need for reskilling? How do they do that in this immersive shift?
Like I mentioned earlier, I think ChatGPT is like one of the greatest resources.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then there's lots of like classes that
Sorry,
you can take
Lynn.
through Coursera
All
and
right. Lauren is going
yeah.
first, and then I'm gonna come to you, Faisal. So Lauren, kindly continue.
Yeah, I was kind of just saying classes like through Coursera and similar advices, and asking around like mentors and colleagues and stuff like that and seeing their experiences. There's lots of classes out there, and just it's kind of like weeding out, and reading reviews and really feeling like which one's worth your time and being able to commit to something, and just repetition. I think repetition's super important, and just like
Yes.
kind of getting your flow. A lot of these like AI tools kind of get to know you as well. So I think like the better like bond you kind of create with it in a sense,
Yes.
the more powerful it can be.
Yeah, so for you, online reskilling works better. Faisal, I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you. Faisal, what is your take on educators reskilling, what they're teaching right now in this immersive shift? Your mic, please. Okay. Faisal,
Yeah,
over to
I
you.
think I probably, can you hear me? I
Yes.
probably agree with Lauren a lot, but I would say that at an institutional level, I think in particular in Africa, we need to take a leaf out of the book of President Captain Ibrahim Traore, because he's actually answering this question in the sense that he's just, I mean, among the 1,000 things that he's been doing for the last 3 years, he's just set up an academy for coding and AI for young kids and learning about, so in the same way, I think societies need to actually refocus, teach educator training, so that we can, sort of massify this. Because once you have teachers, then the students will come. I think it's quite simple.
An interesting perspective on that. Catherine, I didn't give you a chance to introduce yourself, but right now you're here with us. Please tell us who you are, and you're very welcome.
Yes, thank you. I've been having some technical difficulties and I'm sitting in a car. Happy to greet you all. I'm Catherine Cavanaugh, founder of Screen 360 TV. We are an online learning platform that presents short international films and coordinates classrooms remotely through AI and presents film festivals. So we learn through the rich atmosphere of the International Film Festival, listening and speaking and responding to films and each other. And that's what I see how teachers can reskill, allowing more conversation, more listening to each other, developing voices in response. It's just recently I listened to the co-author of Abundance, Ezra Klein, and Jared Thompson, I believe is his name. He said that the future of education examinations, because we have AI, will eliminate the take-home exam, the take-home test, and promote more presentation and defense of learning. And there are already school programs, curricula that do that, Waldorf, IB, for instance. And students presenting their knowledge reinforces their knowledge cognitively in memory. They deeply learn it. So I think that's actually a very positive thing potentially about AI in education. And teachers, they need to allow for the time for presentation and listening and responding.
That is a great insight when it comes to presentation. And I think all of us agree with that. Presentation. And the most interesting fact when you said evaluation will no longer be, according to the author, evaluation will no longer be about your marks or what you get to score, but more about how you present, how you talk, how you bring it out. For me, that is a takeaway. That is a takeaway for me. I don't know if anyone feels the same vibe, but if you feel the same, kindly bring it on. Or Steve, do you agree with this? Doctor, yes, Dr. Sakar, please bring it on. Yes, there you go.
I think I am audible. Can you hear me? Okay.
All right, there's a
I think
problem.
the reskilling is very much required for for the teachers, for the educators, and everybody, so that we can contribute to the society in a better way. reskilling not necessarily mean that people has to know technology, but you have to know how can you
Mm.
use technology for the betterment. So this is for the sustainability and few other things. And continuously your foundation must be strong. Whenever a technology will come, you can take best out of it, and then you can make the living on the earth better. So this is what I feel that you can tell that the nutshell, in nutshell, this is the main thought of our discussion.
All right. We're coming back to you, Doctor, and maybe we can get your audio also better. But thank you for sharing that. I'm gonna go to the next questions, and I'm bringing you on, Ian, on this. How can immersive tools help learners absorb more information, build empathy, and human connection? And I think, Catherine, this is one of your passion, but you can also chime in on this. But Ian or anyone else, I also want to hear from you. Ian, take it off.
All right. Catherine mentioned about like the importance of presentation, right? The
Mm,
learning presentation. That's the best way of maximizing students. I mean, synaptic plasticity, right? That's like while talking about what they know, but the knowledge can be highly engraved in their brain. I know about this, but the thing is, during the class time, if they make a presentation for over a long time, that could be a waste of time. That's exactly why I have developed my AI speech analysis feedback report program, so they can practice as much as they want. So they can spend the whole day if they want to, if they are really willing to practice for um, like for their class. So they can summarize a certain passage. It could be a like exemplary sample essay, or it could be an essential background knowledge, and then they can extract the summary using their own their own brain. So
mm,
which will enhance their reasoning and logical skill, analytical thinking, understanding skill, everything. So that's what I'm trying to do, integrating everything. So
yeah.
the outlines of a passage, and then they talk about it based on the outline. So they must repeat it by based on the AI native speaker's voice, and then they can read through the passage over and over again until they are satisfied with it, and then they can talk about it based on the outline, and then they record it through their presentation video, and then during the class time they can talk about it and they can discuss with their peers
Mhm.
and teachers,
Yes.
and they all learn from each other. Even teachers learn from students, the students learn from the teacher and the other student. So I think this is exactly what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
Wow, I love that model where everyone is learning from each other and they're discussing. It's not just about doing an assignment and submitting it, and then the teacher gives back the feedback. That kind of learning, peer-to-peer learning, teacher to students, students to students. I think that's the best way to go when it comes to education. And I have someone who just joined us. Pal, kindly introduce yourself and tell us who you are before we go to the next question.
Sure. Hey everyone, I am Pearl and I'm the founder of Trusted Worker Initiative, which is a social impact platform that is designed to certify, verify, and connect informal workers such as artisans, domestic workers, and other service providers as well. Kicking off in Nigeria, and also it is designed to improve household trust, worker safety as well, and also to introduce a formalized labor to government agencies and to and also to individual and also for I lost my train of thought, apologies, and also to individual businesses as well, in lack of a better way to put it. I'm so sorry, I lost my train of thought, but that is me, and hello to everyone.
Yes, Paul, we greet you and welcome. We're just kicking it off, and I'm coming to the next questions, and I'm bringing it over to you, Orestes and Lauren and Faisal. I want you to tackle this one, but we'll start with you, Orestes. In a fast-changing digital world, how do you how do we decide what educational knowledge is relevant? How do we decide that?
Yeah, Exactly, that's a really nice question. In a fast changing digital world, we decide what educational knowledge is relevant is the one that enables the learners keep learning. So the embodied knowledge that transformed into a gamified way keeps on pushing these boundaries. For example, take for example the domain of agriculture. We see that many educators as farmers they have like a specific life fantasy, right? So we need to in a way capture that knowledge and transfer it into a gamified concept so that we can continue teaching the next generation the archaeological agricultural knowledge that might be lost in the time of the years, and all this useful information will be in the dumpster, for example.
Mhm.
So practical knowledge that enables practical and creative thinking is the one that I think is the one we have to decide keep on building and also pushing forward, enabling multidisciplinary collaboration, but also uh, ethical collaboration in a way.
Yeah, what I just took away from that is practical knowledge. Practical, for me, that's a key takeaway. Faisal, I'm gonna come to you, Dr. Sakar, and I'm sure your audio is maybe good by now. But Faisal and Lauren, I want to hear from you when it comes to this particular discussion.
Yeah,
Faisal, kindly.
yeah. My take on this is essentially you need the opposite of what obtains. I mean, what obtains is basically 12 years of parroting and not learning any useful information and so on. And I think somebody else mentioned the Waldorf school, there's the Mondia school, there's the Montessori school system, and so on. But I think all of that still falls a little bit short. And I think homeschooling begins to actually address this issue. But for me, there's a type of education that is
Mm-hmm.
driven by the learners themselves, and it's called unlearning. Just as
Mm-hmm.
antithetical to learning in the way that we know it. And I think unlearning means children coming together and deciding what they want to learn, because in that moment that is relevant for them. And I think the system, needs to be on a level where children are actually. Einstein is the one that said, if you want children to learn, excite them, make it an adventure. And if you leave it to children, they will come up with multiple adventures at the same time, and they also have much more fun interacting with each other on a human level. Why? Because now it's a soft sort of a gentle competition. I can do this. I created this. Do you want to try? So inspiring innovation. I also like the point about peer training and peer education and so on. But peer innovation, because that essentially for Africa and the world, that is actually what we need. I mean, my entire lifetime, I think everybody else on the panel's entire lifetime, we've been told what to learn. I've been told this is how international relations work and so on. And I have a vastly different view from conventional international relations when I look at the world now. So my take would be, let the kids decide.
Amazing. Those are very exciting points that you dropped right there. It's something unlearning. Unlearning. I think that was my key takeaway here. I think I'm having key takeaways each and every time I listen to you, panelists. I don't know what you think, you dear audience, but please feel free to engage with this panelist. Lauren, what is your take on that? What do you have to add? Your mic, please.
Yes. Okay, so how do we decide what educational knowledge is relevant in today's day and age? I think because AI and technology moves so fast, focusing on the core concepts and adaptable methods. So like for core concepts like literacy and ethics, and then adaptable methods being like computational thinking and design. So kind of drilling in your foundation there and making sure that you have a solid foundation. That way, with the tools that are rapidly changing and evolving every day, it's just a matter of like getting kind of familiar with them and progressing and adapting with them as they grow. So situational tech, like your AI workflows and tools like that, and just finding which one you are most comfortable with and using that one and getting really good at it. I think that's kind of the way that I would do it.
Yes, absolutely, 100% right. Dr. Sakar, I'm hearing all these expressions, and would you want to add something to this? What is your take?
Okay, so I see this issue in a threefold filter, you can say. So when it comes to learning, firstly, we are going for the foundation knowledge because that is very much required. Say critical thinking, mathematical learning, communication skills. Those are timeless across centuries. Those are essentials. Secondly, I'm looking for the contextual skills. Contextual skills means the skills aligned with the industry and societal need. Right now, we can talk about cybersecurity, sustainability, data science, data literacy, etc. And number three, I'll be keeping that future-oriented adaptability. So just now we were discussing that learn, unlearn, and relearn, which is very much effective.
Mm-hmm.
So future-oriented adaptability means you are preparing the students or the learners to unlearn, relearn, and pivot. So that means it's not so you are making them adaptable so that whenever new technology comes, because we do not know after 10 years what is going to the technology, what is going to be the condition of the environment. So the learners must have the adaptability, that capability, so that after 10 years they can adapt.
All right. That was a perfect segue. And I probably have wished the best audio for him. And he's going to be back. But thank you for sharing that wherever you are. Hal, I wouldn't close this discussion without hearing from you. You're in the workforce. What do you think? What knowledge should be taught right now that is relevant in the workforce that educators should know?
I mean, just to put it succinctly, I think, like just as it pertains to the relevance, I feel like this means teaching skills that help people generally adapt to critical thinking, problem solving, just general adaptability, should I say, and not just memorizing facts that AI can store faster.
Mm. Wow, definitely. That was brief, and I love that expression. Kadrika, I'm coming to you in this next question because how do you make learning and reskilling affordable, accessible, and practical for everyone? Your mic, please, Catherine. Over to you.
There we are. Thank you. I didn't quite hear that. How do we make it affordable and practical? Well, hopefully, teachers are still employed and can reskill as I suggested. But also, I wanted to comment about the professor speaking about students learning without teachers. And there is a form, the Reggio Emilio method from Italy is just that method. Children are in the classroom to conduct their own learning, and the teachers are nearby, but only protecting and offering safety and guidance. And the idea is that the children, or the students, not always children, students, use themselves as a resource and source the group for answers if they don't have them. So it encourages collaboration, project-based learning, and self-reliance. So again, the teachers creating the space and the safety, but then stepping back and allowing the students to develop in the course that they would naturally, taking roles that they would naturally. Just reading the future of smart. And I'm afraid I didn't bring it with me. I wanted to share that, but the title is The Future of Smart. Ulka Hansen, I believe, is the writer, speaking about a school where for 3 hours, the students have tasks that they do on their own. Someone is chopping fruit for the group. Someone is playing a math game, and others are watching. But the students are conducting the activity for those hours. And in this particular example, these were younger children. Here again, teachers as guides. So learning how to unlearn, in a way, everything that they might have gotten in their teacher training, have a lot of plans, but also step back and let the students have plenty of time to learn and relearn and discuss.
Catherine, I'm listening to you and it makes me wonder, do all the students have this kind of discipline? Do we have kids who are going to distract others? Are we going to see a segment? Okay, we've left the students to learn by themselves. Are we going to have the naughty students who are going to distract others? Are we going to have the students who are more fast learning? And, the teacher just left them, but how can the teachers now supervise them much better in discipline? Yeah.
True. Well, this is, of course, would take time to unlearn old models where there isn't as much trust in the classroom, and then learning to be trusted and to trust oneself in such a situation. So yes, it would take some time to unlearn the old models, but I think going forward, you would be developing a stronger character who is more likely to enter the workforce as a caring, curious, and hopefully even multilingual contributor.
Thank you for clarifying that for me. And I'm coming back to you, Ian and Faisal, and this draws me to my next question, and anyone can chime in as well. Also you, Lauren, what does relevance mean in an education system where AI learns faster than humans? Over to you, Ian. Yeah.
Okay. Or in this AI era, AI can learn faster. So then we must know. Unlike AI, humans have a special ability to learn things unconsciously. So we can fully utilize our unconscious learning ability. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So while students practice how to make a presentation based on a certain passage, they can read through it, and like in terms of language learning, like they don't have to go for grammar learning or vocabulary learning or reading comprehension learning. They can just integrate everything. Unconsciously, they can acquire everything: grammar, vocabulary, background knowledge, and writing and speaking, etc.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to, so my point is that they can fully utilize their unconscious learning ability, and they must learn how to interact with others. So, like social interaction is what makes us different and what makes us enjoy our life, and which is exactly how we can improve their happiness levels as well. So I think that's my. And then, like I said, I was going to actually mention that the education model, the integrated education model, could be available for only about $80. So anyone could afford that. And then the teachers' roles are actually motivators. They are
Yes.
facilitators and like mediators. That's what they
Yes.
have to do. They should be professional psychologists rather than having an expert in certain field of knowledge.
Yeah, definitely. And that just builds up to what Kadwini had said. Faisal, what is your take on this? And then I'll bring to you Dr. Sakar. Faisal?
Yeah, I just wanted to just go back because I think we probably didn't answer it complete the previous question completely. My short answer is it has to be free, and it has to be paid from the natural wealth. Again, before Captain Traore becomes cliche, like they have done in the national debt, and then they removed all taxes, and they are using the country's natural wealth
to have free education. So it has to be free. That's the one thing. It also has to be pervasive. Like everybody must want to be a part of the education system, especially young people, through smart and viral marketing, social media, stories, plays, movies, etc. And then the other thing, very critical for Africa, is it has to be everywhere. You have to be able to access it everywhere. And with that, I mean, we have to actually address this thing about connectivity, where only 50% of Africans are connected. And then I think my short answer, really a one line on this question is, luckily for us, AI learning still requires and relies on human inputs, programming, etc., and so on, and therefore relevance becomes a decision. So a child, for instance, is learning maybe something IoT wise and connecting AI to it. Maybe he lives on a farm and he's like sorting out the water irrigation system times and so on, or he lives in a city and he's figuring out how to reduce CO2, and so on and so on. So for me, it's a decision essentially.
Thank you for bringing out the matter on accessibility. Can we just make education free as a basic right? And for me, I'm speaking from an angle of a collective responsibility. Some governments may not be in the position, but it's personal responsibility. You teach a child something. After this conversation, go teach a child something that you have learned. If you're in agreement with me, please go and do that. Lauren and Dr. Sakar, do you have something to add on this matter of relevance in an AI world?
Yes, I would like to tell that we need to identify what AI cannot replicate easily. For example, the critical reasoning, ethical judgment, creativity, emotional intelligence. So we must not take AI as a competitor, because we know as far as the computation is concerned, human cannot compete with AI. But definitely we have to ensure that like AI as our co-learner, it's an co-worker, and we have to make our graduates are capable to guiding AI responsibly, because only AI without ethics, without responsibility, that may be going to be the danger for the future world. So we must identify what are the areas where human are more capable than AI, and then we have to identify the relevance. That is
Yes, I agree on that. Lauren, please chime in on this conversation as we go to the next one.
Yeah, I think that was very well said. Yeah, again, just bringing it back to like, what can a human do that an AI can't do? A human has judgment and ethics. We can also collaborate a lot easier than AI can at this point, at least between human to human rather than AI to AI. We also have creativity and the ability to frame problems and validate whether question AI's answers. So as far as like instructional pivots, I think it's important to teach students to orchestrate tool chains. So for like, search, then simulate, and test and verify. I think the verification is extremely important, because not every answer that you get from AI is correct. So I think being able to have like an alert for, and judgment on whether something just seems like totally irrational or like slightly off. So yeah, basically just, I think the assessment part of this is important in our education model, and having not just final answers, but having like your process and reflection on how you got there.
That's a great perspective. And Orestes, I see you nodding to this, which brings me to the next question. And I'm coming to you as well as Pal. So prepare. Which skills are becoming obsolete, and which new skills matter most now, Orestes?
Right, the skills of adaptability, critical thinking, also creativity are the ones that can be the most critical in an adopted hero's journey approach that should be, let's say, not be the guideline for adoption while you're creating this type of immersive experiences, but they are more connected to the emotional intelligence of the developer and also the educator. Most of the times when I'm designing simulations, I'm using the 7 steps of the hero's journey approach. So I'm trying to be the hero inside of immersion, and I'm trying to pass a message through my simulation, but that makes the engagement higher in that type of immersion. So I believe that the skills that are mattering the most are the ones that connect us with our human nature and the one that cannot be replicated from AI and later on from AGI. The skills that can be connected in the future with some agentic AI that will help also students and creators and policymakers to create
Yeah.
more open source applications, but also gamification platforms. And also, I'm going a few steps back to the other questions that you mentioned
Yeah.
regarding the technology acceptance. There have to be a little bit more collaboration and multidisciplinary cross-boundary collaboration between various actors in the domain of the extra technologies in order to succeed in this type of a new era of immersive education
Mm.
and the next era of metaverse
Thank you.
and
Thank you for touching on that.
eduverse, since we're talking for education, right?
Yes, thank you so much for touching on that, especially on the emotional and human connection side of things. Pal, please, we want to hear your thoughts on this as we close off, as we go to the final close off. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I feel like Orestes made some very valid points on the back of what he said. I feel like a lot of there are a lot of repetitive in terms of like becoming obsolete. It's a lot of like the repetitive manual and routine skills that are on the decline, namely simple trades and clerical. And just for the sake of time, I'll just conclude by saying what matters the most are digital skills, emotional intelligence, as Orestes has said, problem solving, and also just the ability to keep learning as well.
Yeah, definitely keep learning. Kadri, I want to hear your final takeaway on this as we close this educational panel. We could have gone a long way. So, how do we protect imagination and creativity in an age of immersive intelligence learning environment?
Wow, that's a wonderful question. How do we protect imagination and creativity? Once again, allowing space for it to grow. So, an example, I was working with the 6th grade class, and the classes were only 42 minutes long, and they had to shift from class to class. And a boy came in, he's running in to get to his seat, and he's huffing and puffing, and he says, "You see what we have to deal with?" And here's I saw the wisdom and intelligence in this 11-year-old boy, and the desire to learn and not be pushed through a sort of factory mechanism. And I'd say we need to open up the class times and allow much more time for discovery, for self-discovery, and for collaborative discovery. We need to minimize the classrooms. That means hire more teachers. And that could also mean do away with the structures, the architecture of the factory schools, quote unquote, and open up some walls and allow for more space and time, and have 4 classes in a day rather than 6 or 7. And also, I believe, again, going back to my earlier statement, having more opportunities for students to tell what they know and building on what they know, similar to the Rudolf Steiner style of building your portfolio of learning and presenting that along the way. I believe that offers a student far more autonomy in learning and a more solid understanding of who they are, their social social emotional well-being.
Mm. All right. All right. Well, your audio is breaking, and before I couldn't agree more. That was such a brilliant way to sum it up, Catherine. Uh, Dr. Sakar, do you have something to add before we?
Yes. So thank you, Catherine. You have like mentioned most of the points. Only I would like to add here three keywords you can tell. Firstly, that immersive technology must not be consumption driven; it must be creation driven. So we must not use those technologies as a place to consume. We must create. And one more area, that is interdisciplinary studies must be promoted everywhere, so that the designing, thinking, storytelling, such things will be incorporated. If you are intelligent enough, but if you focus yourself in one discipline, I think your thought process, your entire thing is basically limited. I come from a place where Rabindranath Tagore actually did his creation. And you think the kind of contribution he's having. He's having contribution in various areas of the science, literature, philosophy, education, everywhere. So interdisciplinary and disciplinary study that must be encouraged throughout the globe. That is what I believe. So thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, dear panelists. We could have gone on because I felt that there was so much to share, there was so much to learn, and for our audience, keep engaging and please follow our dear panelists. I believe there's so much they share on their profiles. We have their profiles on the website. Thank you so much. And our first roundtable gather was well. Over to you, GatherVerse team. Thank you.
Thank you.